Hi, Jeanette. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday break and a good weekend. I've been making some progress with our work, and tomorrow or today, I should say, later today because it's um, early morning now. I'm gonna be having a outpatient surgery, a knee. And basically, I don't expect to. I'll be working from home, but I'll be working starting Tuesday. Uh, but I wanted to have a moment to be able to show you the progress that we've made, and be able to show you some things that I found. So first, the lead assignment rules have been implemented per our discussions that we had. And so the first thing that I did before I even started the lead assignment rules is I took a look at your regions, your country regions, and I created a spreadsheet for us. Um, which let's see, can we drag this lower? Here we go. This particular Google Sheet, which I sent you in an email, the first thing that I did was download all countries as seen in Salesforce. And then I took your list, which was Greater Europe, and your Central South America list, and your other country list, and I imported them in here. What I did was actually compare using a spreadsheet that I have that where I'm able to put two columns and basically take a look at it, compare column A with column B to see if data exists or is there discrepancy between two columns. I sort of did that for our project. First of all, did it for Greater Europe and didn't find any issues. Uh, did it for Central America, didn't find any issues either. Um, Actually, that's not true. Found one particular issue, which was U.S. Virgin Islands. U.S. Virgin Islands in the document you sent me didn't have these periods. It was just U.S. with no periods, Virgin Islands. However, U.S. Virgin Islands in Salesforce and in the Pardot forms are actually U point S point Virgin Islands, and obviously this needs to match up for the assignment rules to work. So I was able to catch that issue. And then I went into Salesforce and took out, based on the lead rules, copied this out and basically formatted them nicely so that I could see all the distributors and which countries they belong to. So here we have obviously countries that are one to one, where it's one country, one distributor, but I was also able to take one distributor for the set of for multiple set of countries. I did this for two reasons, obviously, because I also wanted to be able to have one document that we can all sort of look at that sort of shows us this information. And then because I also took a look at these distributor countries, comparing them with Central America and Greater Europe to make sure that there's no collisions, and I did find a collisions. So, well, first thing that I did was taking a look at all the countries. I was able to create a tab here. You can take a look at this of countries that are nowhere. So these countries are neither in all other countries. They're not in distributor. They're not in Central South America or Greater Europe or all countries. Well, not all countries at the CT, but basically your list of Greater Europe and Central in South America. So I am not sure if these are going to get assigned. I guess they would get assigned to Jamie since they're non-distributors and they would not be in Greater Europe and Central America, but they may, they may, you should take a look at this. They may need to be, these may have to be assigned either to Greater Europe or Central America, depending on the country itself. So if you could just take a look at these countries that are not really included anywhere. Off the top of my head, I can't right now think of maybe this is going to be captured by the other non-distributed countries. So they're not going to be in Europe, they're not going to be in Central America, they're not distributors, so probably these would automatically get added to Jamie because they're nowhere. The other discrepancies that I found was, and I created a tab called potential conflicts. So for example, St. Pierre is in your document. If we look at your document for Central America, right here. Here we have St. Pierre and Miquelon, and this is for Central and South America. Excuse me. However, they're also in a distributor. So if we go look at a distributor over here, well, actually, we can just take a look at this distributor, and that is under Dory. Dory has St. Pierre and Miquelon. So we could take a look here in Salesforce. Let me take a look at Dory right here, and here we have St. Pierre Miquelon. So basically, I found this collision where the distributor, this should really go in distributor, but we were also basically counting it under Central and South America. What I did, and you can see here, I actually removed it from this list. What you can see here is that basically I just assumed that this should, because it's in the distributor, this should not get assigned to anyone. Let me know if that's not the case. If that's not the case, obviously I can easily correct this and add this, and that would get assigned to Central and South America, and I'm not exactly sure who that is. Central and South America is, I think, well, these US, no, yeah, I think it's Rob. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to take a look at it, but let me know. Let me know if that assumption wasn't right. My assumption was because they're in distributors and they're also Central South America, since we have a distributor listed to it, I did not assign it to Central and South America. These others, Congo, French Polynesia, Malaysia, Malawi, Seychelles, and Wallis Futuna, is in distributors, and also all other countries. Now, since they're in distributors, it doesn't really matter because our rule is, so if we go over here, it's going to get assigned to somebody here in the distributor, and our rule is saying if distributor territory equals other. So it wouldn't equal other, so then it's not going to fall in here anywhere. So the distributor is going to get that email. But obviously, just for documentation purposes, they should not be listed in all other countries. They should probably not be, in our list of other countries, they shouldn't be in there. Also, just a couple of notes here. The formula, we have Congo, but in our Salesforce list, we have Congo Democratic Republic of. So I just need to do a follow-up on this and make sure that that's not in the form. I really haven't done that. Great Britain is also listed in the formula, but it's not really a drop-down list, and I'm pretty sure in the form is not also listed in the drop-down list. But I just wanted to verify. Obviously, I want to make sure that it's not, missing. That we should have it, that if it's in the form, that it's actually getting mapped correctly in our lead rules. So both of these are things that I'm going to follow up on. So the other thing is this was what I did for country regions. I did the same exercise for United States, for states and provinces. So the first two tabs are states and provinces as they exist in Salesforce. So one is Salesforce states, the other one is Canadian provinces, and then I created a tab with US states, and this tab was actually from states that I got from our lead assignment rules that were there originally. So I copied the list that was in the lead assignment rules originally, put it in here, and compared it with the Salesforce states and provinces. And I also took a look at the drop-down list in our Salesforce forms. So I did that for US and I did that for Canada. This list here, these two tabs are actually a reflection of what was in our original assignment rules. And then I sort of combined them. And then the issues that I found were District of Columbia was missing from our assignment rules. So I added it to our assignment rules. I added it to the East region because District of Columbia is, somewhere in Virginia. So I just assumed that's East region, U.S. rules. Tennessee was misspelled in our original assignment rules. So if someone ever went into Tennessee, they would not have been assigned to anything because, well, it was misspelled. Northwest Territories was also misspelled. It's actually spelled how it is in your chart, Northwest Territory. However, in Salesforce, it's stated as Northwest Territories. In our form, it's also Northwest Territories over here. So because it was misspelled in the assignment rule, it would never have gotten assigned to anything. So that was another issue that I saw. Prince Edward Island was just completely missing. So I added it to the assignment rules, and I again added it to the East region because it's in the East. Then notes here, Newfoundland in the Pardot form, Newfoundland is one word. Newfoundland, here we go. It's all one word. However, in Salesforce, it's actually two. Let me go over here to the sheet. Actually, in Salesforce, it's Newfoundland and Labrador. But I believe in our assignment rules, it's Newfoundland with a space. So basically, I just need to know what we need to do. In Salesforce, we have Newfoundland. I guess this right now is not going to work because our drop-down list is new space Foundland. So that's how the data is going to come in, Newfoundland. So actually in the leader assignment rules, I think what I'm going to do right now, just because this is the way that it's in our drop-down list, is we're going to take the space away. So we're going to make our assignment rules match our form. So Newfoundland. Okay. So now it matches our form. I think it's not in Salesforce at all. Well, in Salesforce, that was the other word. In Salesforce, it's actually Newfoundland and Labrador. And so Labrador is in our list. And I think it's in it's in our assignment rule list, but in Salesforce, it's actually Newfoundland and Labrador. So I don't know, right now it's going to work, right? But I don't know if maybe what we want to do is change Newfoundland here to Newfoundland and Labrador, update our assignment rule to also be Newfoundland and Labrador, and that way, and just get rid of Labrador, which is right now here somewhere by itself, Labrador. I'm assuming if someone chooses Newfoundland, they mean Newfoundland and Labrador. But right now, this is doing nothing. So just another potential issue there. And then Victoria Island it's in the assignment rules and it's in the map, but it's not in the form. So if we go to the form and we look for Victoria Island, it's not in here anywhere. So maybe we need to add that to the form. So these are issues sort of want to circle back with you on Tuesday. So that my first exercise was to basically really comb all of your countries and all of your states and all the regions and make sure that that was looking good so that I can then transform that into common delimited list that actually would match what was in the form, and basically then just whip out the automation rules. I have a document, basically, this over here, assignment rules, which then I went through your images, and as I went through the images, I worked out the logic. And so this document, which I also shared with you, basically is the logic. If Industries Packaging, Henry, if Industries Roofing, Phillips, And what you need to understand of the rules is that once it's assigned, it's not going to keep going down, right? So if it finds that industry equals packaging, immediately it's going to assign Brian Henry, and it's not going to go, it's not going to go any further down. It's not going to go down. And because of this, so a good example is these automation web requests. So for domestic, automation web request is going to go to Jeff, but for international, automation web request is going to go to Brian. So it is possible for me to do that because the first thing that I check is if it's an automation web request, and if the country is either Canada or US, we're going to do Jeff. Then it's going to go to the second, if it doesn't match this and someone did automation web request, then we know it has to be international. So it goes here. So because we have industry equals packaging or industry equals roofing, either of these scenarios are going to assign it either to Brian or Phillips. We don't have to do those checks down here. The other thing that I did was add a new field called service web request, which I added to the service forms. And as you can tell here, I now reload this. Oh, this is an automation rule I was looking at. So here is the services for form. So what you'll see is that we're setting service request equals true. I did this for all the forms. There's the original form, and then there's Dutch, French, Spanish, and Portuguese, I think. So all of the forms I updated the rule, but I have not updated the notifications because that's actually going to be part of our what we're doing with the reporting of the response object. That's going to be what that's going to actually deal with the autoresponders. So for now, I left this all enabled, but at least this is already set to work the minute that basically I take these assignments away. So updated Pardot. So created assignment rules. And then here we just do a safety check that our country is either US, Canada, and then we just check for East, Central, and West assignments. If they fall through here, it means that the countries are not US and they're not Canada, so it's not domestic. They're not the industry is not packaging, industry is not roofing. We don't have an automation web request, service web request, so it falls through basically our international rules. So our international rules, we have our Europe, I believe. Yep. So this is Greater Europe. And then we have our Central South America rules. And then if they weren't caught by any of these two sets and distributed territory equals other, and as we know, the only way that that's going to happen is if the country is not in our distributor rules over here, a distributor formula, then it's going to get sent to changing. And that's it. I also had a meeting today, since I'm gonna be in basically indisposed tomorrow with my team member. So I told him that I would have this completely basically implemented today. I did some work. I basically did the bulk of the implementation yesterday, and I had to tweak something today, but I basically really what I did today was just download all this information. I showed him the automation rules and everything, and I told him I want you to do a test. And so what he's going to do is test every single rule scenario, not every scenario, but basically a subset, right? Like just make sure industry equals packaging, make sure it gets assigned, equals roofing gets assigned. When it comes to the states, I just told him to take two states just to verify, take a subset so that we can at least see the rule working in each case. And to make sure that everything's working as we expected, he's going to create a spreadsheet, and then I'm going to hand that over to you so that we have a sanity check that the new lead assignment rules are working the way we expected it. The other thing that's going to start happening this week is that we're going to work on that response object. So the response object is going to basically help us with the reporting, and also I'm going to use a workflow so that anytime somebody submits a form, that's what's going to trigger us sending an autoresponder, and that's going to happen from Salesforce. Okay, so let's catch up on Tuesday. Please let me know. Send me an email if you have any questions, and I'm sure that tomorrow evening I would be able to respond. If not, we can catch up on Tuesday. And again, I hope you had a great weekend.